Next nominee.
The 13th nominee to be screened by the Senate just walked out of the chambers, Dr. Betta Edu from Cross River State. Pretty young, very interesting, 1986. She was born, she's 36 years old, but public health specialist. Of course, has a PhD from Texila American University. She was essay to the Cross River State Governor on community and primary health care. She's been tasked on quite a number of things by the senators in the chamber: women representation, the NHIS, health sector strikes, and she took her time to actually explain a lot of that, talking about the structure of governance in the health sector, payment structure for health workers, and other bills supporting women and how they should scale through in this 10th Assembly. Another woman making her way right now to be screened by the senators at this ministerial screening right here at the National Assembly in Abuja.
Distinguished colleagues, the nominee before us is Haja Iman Suleiman Ibrahim from Nasarawa State. We have your biodata, but if there is anything you would like to do, but if there's anything you would like to add, you can go ahead and use the next few minutes to summarize. The floor is yours.
Your Excellency, the President of the Senate, distinguished Senator Goodwill Apabio, Your Excellencies, Principal Officers of the Senate, distinguished Senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, good evening. May God's peace and blessings be upon you. It is my honor and privilege to stand before you today. I am Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, FSI, the Ministerial nominee from Nasarawa State, North Central of Nigeria. I stand before you today with a deep sense of commitment to duty, a devoted public servant, a selfless daughter of Nigeria, and also an advocate of the well-being of our people and the advancement of our great nation. I am deeply honored and humbled by the trust and confidence reposed on me by our CNC, His Excellency President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Through the nomination to these enviable heights of the ministerial position of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I am grateful for the opportunity to see it as an honor to be considered to serve our country in a capacity that aligns with my life ambition, which is the pursuit for peace, progress, and prosperity of this country. My life and career journey has been guided by a passion for public service and a profound love for our beloved country. Born and raised in Nigeria, I have been fortunate to receive a comprehensive education, including a degree in sociology from the University of Abuja. Subsequently, I earned 2 postgraduate degrees in business administration and management from Webster University, St. Louis, Missouri, their London campus, thus solidifying my expertise in this field. As part of my unending quest for continuous professional development, I went to the National Institute for Security Studies for the Advanced Management Intelligence course, which earned me the Fellow of Security Institute. I'm currently undergoing a doctorate degree with the thesis in Security and Strategic Studies at the prestigious Military University, the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna. May I kindly state that I've traversed critical public sector institutions that promote human capital development, safeguarding human dignity, and supporting the vulnerable and persons of concerns in Nigeria. I have served as a special advisor on strategic communication with the Minister of State for Education, contributing my expertise to advance educational policies and initiatives. Additionally, I played an instrumental role as a member of the Nasarawa State Economic and Investment Advisory Council, contributing to the overall state socioeconomic development and resilience building. My dedication to humanitarian causes and social progress is evident in my contribution as the DG NAPTIP, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. During my short stay at the agency, I worked assiduously to strengthen its internal framework, and I repositioned it for an enhanced service delivery of its mandate. Amongst others, the initiative I championed led to upgrading Nigeria from the Tier 2 watch list, which attracts sanctions, to Tier 2, second to the highest ranking by the U.S. Trafficking Report. It is my honor to highlight to this distinguished gathering that in my current role as the Honorable Federal Commissioner of the National Commission for Refugee, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, I've continued to lead a progressive agenda and a strategic roadmap tagged the Project 5S. The strategic roadmap is an ambitious intervention designed to tackle critical challenges facing persons of concerns and the vulnerable group of persons in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Some of the key achievements based on the implementation of the strategic roadmaps was the passage of the NCFRMI Act of 2022 into law by the distinguished National Assembly after over 14 years of attempt. The feat attained would not have been achieved without the collective collaboration of the National Assembly, and this effort remains commendable. As the law strengthens the national action for protection and assistance of persons of concerns in our beloved country, the Commission also now has a credible and sustainable framework as a national action plan for resource mobilization to implement a series of activities. Distinguished members of the Senate, if confirmed as a minister, my vision is deeply rooted in strengthening systems of protection for the vulnerable, promoting human capital development, supporting efforts aimed at national cohesion and sustainable peace building, and fostering an inclusive society that leaves no one behind in our journey towards a prosperous, united Nigeria. Through collaborative partnership, evidence-based policy making, and relentless commitment to transparency and accountability, I am dedicated to leading a transformative effort that will empower our people, and future generations, which in actualizing Mr. President's renewed hope agenda. Mr. President, when confirmed as minister, I look forward to engaging in a constructive collaboration with the National Assembly, drawing from your wealth of experiences and perspective to craft policies that uplift our nation and its citizens. I seek your support, endorsement, and I'm committed to being steadfast in my dedication to duty for the advancement of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you so much. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, sitting as chair. My name is Mohammed Ogoshionao. I represent Nasarawa South. The nominee before you, or before this chamber, is a seasoned administrator, seasoned civil servant, a self-made woman, very determined to achieve, that has touched the lives of many. Without saying much about her, the three of us from Nasarawa State are unanimous in endorsing her for confirmation. I would love to urge this Senate to please spare her the necessary questions and allow her to take a bow to go. Thank you very much.
Distinguished Senator Babangida.
Thank you, Mr. President and Chair of this distinguished colleagues. I'm Babangida Hussaini, representing the good people of Jigawa Northwest. Colleagues, I have 4 local governments that border Niger Republic. And I want to know from the nominee if she has had the opportunity of traveling to Agadez in Niger Republic. If she has, what will she do if perhaps Mr. President finds it expedient to appoint her as a Minister for Women Affairs. And I believe, having served as the DG of NAPTIP, she knows the matter I'm raising, the issue of our young girls living and practically dying in Agadez in their attempt to cross the Sahara Desert into Europe. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, colleagues.
Distinguished Senator Darlington.
Thank you, Mr. President of the Senate and dear colleagues. My name is Darlington Nwokocha. I represent entire Nigeria, but I speak for Abia Central in particular. My dear sister, please, I want to pick just an item from your resume. The first paragraph, you say current position of service, and you say Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, 2021 till date. I'm concerned about the internally displaced persons because for 8 years plus, I've been in the National Assembly, the Green Chamber, and I know often and not, we always hold 1 minute silence. And this has to do with people, either they have been slaughtered, 1, 2 persons, or several persons, and at the end of the day, they will take their children to these IDP centers. Also, I know quite well that these people in IDP centers, I have attended, I've been a member of ad hoc committees where issues that borders around diverting the materials that's supposed to get to them for their own use, people that are internally displaced by internally well-placed people. And at the end of the day, these reports keep coming. I want to find out how many IDP centers do we have? How many of them have good quality education for those children that are displaced? Because I know quite well that it's not out of their making. The psychomotor and the psychological displacement at the end of the day puts them in a position that at the end of the day they may turn to criminals for no just reason that they are theirs. I want to find out how many of those investigations concerning diversion of those food materials by internally well-placed people have you handled? And in what measure and means will you make sure that you provide the necessary education and make sure that all the necessary tools that will protect the provision of those materials that they need will get to them within the real time? Thank you.
The nominee, you may proceed a few answers. Oh, let me just add one. Senator Mongunu, add your questions so that she can take it all together.
Distinguished Senate President, distinguished senators, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Borno North Senatorial District. I am asking this question against the background of the fact that I am coming from Borno North, which is the epicenter of the Boko Haram insurgency and massive displacement of people occasioned by the Boko Haram insurgency. We thank God as a result of the political will, determination, as well as sacrifice and enthusiasm displayed by the Nigerian military. Boko Haram has been decimated and our people are now returning back to their communities to pick the pieces of their lives. As somebody that has served previously in 2 agencies that are humanitarian related, parabencho, if you are confirmed, and Mr. President deemed it fit to force you to the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, what steps are you going to take with a view to assisting our people that have been earlier displaced but are now returning back to their respective communities? What steps are you going to take with a view to giving them succor and ameliorating their life so that they can pick the pieces of their lives? Thank you.
Yes, the nominee, you may answer those questions whilst we await others.
the President of the Senate, distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the migration problems in Nigeria are multidimensional, evolving, and dynamic. And that also describes the kind of migration issues we have with the Republic of Niger. We have Nigerian refugees. The majority of the Nigerian refugees are in the Republic of Niger. We also have issues of irregular migration, human trafficking, smuggling of migrants. Also in Niger, we have a clearing center that hosts predominantly Nigerians that have been evacuated from Europe and are in that center, awaiting clearance to come back to Nigeria. We do not have a budget line for repatriation in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's something that we must consider because presently we rely on the IOM to bring back our citizens home. In demonstrating commitment, we have to work with border communities. We have to work with host communities, and we have to work with these countries, these border countries, to ensure that we have a comprehensive plan and a mutual legal agreement around our migration issues. In my response to the second questions, on the number of IDPs or IDP centers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is a bit clandestine because of the way it happens. Our migration problems is as a result of man-made disasters, which are the conflicts, the banditry, terrorism, and also the natural disasters, which we cannot control, climate change, which is predominantly our problem. After the flood of the end of last year, we doubled the number of IDPs from about 3-point-something million to over 5 million IDPs. That is an issue of concern. As a country, we're very good in responding to emergencies, but we're not very good in addressing consequences or root causes. And it's something that we must do collectively as a people. Predominantly of our IDPs are in host communities. We do have camps, but we try to discourage camps. But the National Commission for Refugee Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons is a durable solution agency. NEMA handles the relief materials, but the Refugee Commission, we handle the reintegration, rehabilitation, and resettlement of displacements in Nigeria. And we ensure that we make use of scarce resources, which are hardly available. In my response to the third question, I'm excited to tell you that Borno State government has a 25 years plan for the rehabilitation of persons of concerns. And if I have the opportunity, I will align to that plan and will support other states to come up with their own plan. There's no state in the Federal Republic of Nigeria that doesn't have displacement issues or migration issues or their own persons of concerns due to various reasons. Given the opportunity, we'll be able to address the major challenges around that sector, namely the issue of data. We're addressing issues for human beings. We must have data, and also the issue of cohesion and coordination, and also the issue of multi-stakeholder engagement. I thank you so much.
So, our dear nominee, you've answered a lot of questions, but I would like to ask you just the last one. You were in charge of NAPTIP, National, for
NAPTIP is the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. So it's the only agency in Nigeria, the law enforcement agency that safeguards human rights in Nigeria. They're also the custodians of the VAP Act. So we have two acts domiciled with the NAPTIP.
How successful will you say you were in coping the incidents of human trafficking when you had the opportunity? Because you have answered the one on being a federal commissioner in respect of refugees, migrants, and internally displaced persons. But as chairperson of NAPTIP, what can you just point out were your major achievements, or can you give us a percentage of the success rates of NAPTIP under you?
Mr. President, when I arrived in NAPTIP, we lost most of our partnerships due to the way we handled them in the past. No country can fight human trafficking in isolation because it's a cross-border offense. I was in NAPTIP for only 6 months, but before I left, I had regained almost 99% of our partnerships. I had been able to gain partnerships confidence. They gave us cases. We have mutual legal agreements with the Europe and with other countries that have human trafficking challenges. Nigeria is a country of destination, transit, and also country of origin. And that's why our migration situation is very complex. But I think the major achievement from my stay in NAPTIP is the repositioning of the agency, making sure that the staff were committed to serving. When I got there, there was very low morals, and then the staff didn't feel appreciated, especially because their welfare packages were low. But I was able to kind of excite them. I was able to build team spirit, and I was able to even spread into states, because you can't fight human trafficking without being present. So we're able to spread into states, work with state government, form state task forces, because this would entail all the players around addressing that challenge for communities being in that task force. We're able to inaugurate about 18 of them. We're able to work with states to sign the Child Rights Acts, the VAP Acts. We're able to also get the Nigerian rating, the US trafficking rating from Tier 2, watch list to Tier 2, which saves us from getting sanctions or suspensions. Thank you, Mr. President.
So during that period, do you recall any madam in Italy, or any madam in Paris, or any madam in Poland being prosecuted as a result of not just trafficking? They carry teenagers and underage children to Congo, Brazzaville, and other places under the guise of going to give them education, but they put them under pains of prostitution and debase womanhood. Do you remember your organization prosecuting some of those madams? You know what I mean? The queen pins in the trade.
At the end of my stay at NAPTIP, we were able to prosecute over 300 cases. The most significant one, or the most celebrated one, was was that of one madam in the UK, because it was in collaboration with the British government. She was prosecuted from the UK. The crime she committed was in Germany, and her assets are still undergoing confiscations. And she was being caught in Edo State, partnering with Interpol and other relevant agencies.
I did not want to mention Edo State because of Oshimole, but now I think you can take a bow. Take a bow.